So, high level about good influence, right? Good influence equals leadership. If you influence people to do good, that is good leadership. And we live in a world where Gen Z has been saying that they don't even care if their influence is real or not. They don't care if their influence is AI. They don't care if it's a robot. They don't care if it's a machine. So they were born in a world without integrity, and they were born in a world that lacks moral quality. So they don't care if they're being influenced by the Matrix because they were born in the Matrix and this is all they know, right? So I think about creating tribes. I think about creating community. I think about creating world, right? Where the Olympics is going crazy right now. The Olympics is going crazy right now, right? People don't want to work out. People don't want to be outside. Nature is not something that people tap into, right? So you have to do the opposite of the crowd. That's good influence. When everybody's going towards slaughter, you have to be the one that's getting as many of the sheep that will listen and hear and say, go this way. This is the right way. So it's about giving right direction. There's frameworks to teach people and guide them in the right way. Whether you're selling a product, whether you're a knowledgepreneur selling education, whether you're somebody that got a degree in finances and you want to teach people financial literacy, right? Whether you're an entrepreneur that want to teach people your frameworks, whether you're somebody that's in fitness and you want to teach people your protocols to get healthy, to eat right, things of that nature. I believe in good influence because there's too many people that have no money, no morals connected to their money. They'll do anything for money. And those type of people are dangerous. So when we first start off the Good Influence program, it's to make sure that you have some morals and that you're qualified for this. Because we're not going to be creating and giving you the game and the secrets and the frameworks. And you go out there and you put your money before your morals. You got to put your morals before your money. That's the only way that you'd be qualified for good influence. You have to create an impact. We have a platform now where we can help create more leaders, right? We can help create more people who I believe minds, voices, products, services are needed in the world. I'm not the only person, of course. I am just one amongst the many, a one amongst the ones, right? So it's like on high-level conversations, we want contributors. I want to see brands out there that are similar to mine or even bigger, right? And my goal is to be a gatekeeper. But like I sat down with Nick Cannon, and he said, yeah, he a gatekeeper, but as the way he keeps the gate is he keeps it open, right? So I want to keep the gate open for some people, but we have to build out your story first by auditing you. We have to build out your gifts, your skills, your talents, and we have to build a brand based on who you are, not what you do. Because that's one that's sustainable and scalable. And if you have a brand already, then we can go in and audit that brand to see where you can scale and whether you can get growth, right? Everybody has a brand. Everybody has a story. That story for everybody is going to relate to a certain amount of people, right? It's going to relate to a certain amount of people, but you have to build that story out and know what are the fine parts of your story. People have brands. That brand is not going to connect to everybody, but there's people's minds that it will connect to. People are doing podcasts, but everybody does not know how to actually properly do a show. How to create one, what are the elements, what are the hooks, what are all of the things that's going to make it successful, right? Most people don't have frameworks for how they're going to run it. So this is where we come in, and we can take your influence to where you go from being an influencer to you become an economy, right? And when you become an economy, right, to where you are influencing capital, you are influencing decision makers, right? Then that's when you can start building out your community, right? And once you build your community, then that can scale to building out your world. So we're going from the influencer base, where it's surrounded by them, and then it's going to be surrounded by the community base, right? And then you build a world for that community because everybody doesn't want to exist in this world. This world is already fragmented. So you can't, when the newspaper was a single source for information in the news, everybody was mostly living in the same world. But now that you can be getting your news from Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, the CNN, Fox, YouTube, right? Truth, fan base, Snapchat. I don't know where your world is being informed by. So this is why talking to the masses, right? You're always going to have these varying degrees of opinions. Some people agree, some people disagree, because the information source is not the same. So that most people are not even pulling from or perceiving things, right, from the same standard. So this is why it is hard to speak to the masses and get a standard and common consensus about a single thought. So instead, you build a community, right? And then that community is getting good influence, good news, good sources of information. And then y'all can build off that as a standard to say, oh, this is your definition for this. Oh, this is the way we see this. Now that community can be in alignment and flow, right? I only want to be amongst, right? Achievers, creators, right? What was it? Achievers, creators, and leaders. Achievers, creators, and leaders. If you're not a person, if you are an achiever, that means you have a growth mindset, right? And most people don't have a growth mindset. Most people don't want to grow. And a growth mindset is it's the proper way to align your human needs, because there are 6 significant human needs that we go about in this framework. And there's patterns that successful people have. And once you learn those patterns, your business change, right? Your brand changes, your life changes. But most people patterns are just not correct. So what we do is we help you reframe those patterns, right? To where you can then go about constantly growing and scaling and achieving. And now you start to perform at your peak. Now you live at your zenith. And to me, that's the goal. And I want to see people, take it from here to transform, right, to their highest level. And that's going to be what it's all about. We have a standard of getting into like the book club where we go over different books, and just doing that itself, being in a tribe of people learning together, is going to grow you because you're going to develop new perspectives and new skills, right? So the book tribe is going to be something different. The Good Influence program is going to be amazing. We're probably going to make the most influential people in the world, because some blueprints that other people can scale that I probably won't be able to, because my brand is a little more radical, but you may even be able to go further than I can in some things that we have. If you're not here to make an impact, I don't really care if you make income. That's just the way I'm set. That's just the way I am. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been knowing a lot of people, and a lot of people are in position of money and power and influence, but they don't really make any impact whatsoever, and especially not a positive impact. So I think good influence, because I went to an event the other day and I seen a man talk about God, and 5,000 people there on a random Thursday night at a YouTube theater. And I was thinking about it. I remember I heard Gary Vee say years ago, he said, I want all the attention in the world because I know what to do with it. And there are so many people in this world that want attention and they don't even know what to do with it. They have no funnel for it whatsoever, right? So it's like being a student of this. For me, I'm a student. So I'm constantly learning, trying to gather the knowledge, the network, the resources, right? So that I can properly utilize my influence and build on that. And once you can build on that, then you can create institution, right? But if we can't get institutions, then things crumble because they can't be passed throughout time. So institution for me is a vehicle, it's a time machine, right? And the lack of institutions in our community, in our society, and our good institutions in our society is the reason why we have first generation success that doesn't translate to second generation. Right? So each generation is supposed to be getting better and better and better, but we have now been told that this generation IQ is the lowest in history. Not the lowest in history, but it hasn't increased. So normally you will see an increase of IQ, like your learning skills. There will be growth that's happening, but right now it's shrinking. So that let us know, right, the things that the generation did before, the societal generation before, is not a good example to follow. So that means you have to go in the opposite direction. But that requires intentionality. And if you're not intentional, right, then you're going to be building these things unconsciously, and you're not going to know if they're positive or negative. So you have to be intentional about certain things, because they're not just going to happen, right? That's chaos. I think, attention without intention is chaos, because it's a random order of things. No, you have to put things in law. And when you follow universal law, you first start with motion, right? You build up the energy. It's like I go to the gym. I first got to get in motion. I'm warming up, get my energy right. But then I need order, all right? What am I going to work out? What is my framework? What's my protocol, right? How am I going to eat right, right? How many reps I'm going to do? How many sets of this rep, right? Then we go into making sure that not as just the sets and the reps, we're making sure that, we're doing that the correct way. Right? Then that means you have to go even deeper. You got to learn about the muscles, right? You have to learn about form. So this is how you go from utilizing those laws of the universe, right, as protocols to develop. And this mind in this world is not mathematical, because it's emotional, right? And math is not emotional. Two scientists from across the world can communicate through math, because math is a universal language. So the universal language of math, music, and music is math, right? You can break music down to math, right? If you start talking about the notes that they come in, and all of those are ordered by what? Numbers. So this is why when you start to think mathematical, and that's what the episode that we just dropped, the gift, right, is living clean and living a tonic life to where you develop the mathematical mind. And a mathematical mind comes with intuitive power, comes with clairvoyance, it comes with psychicness, it comes with high executive function of the brain, right? So this is when you become a high level observer, right? To where you see the repeated sequences of numbers in the world, and you have the ability as a conscious observer to apply meaning to what things mean in your reality, because you're creating your reality, right, as you observe. So that mathematical mind is just that. No, I did not watch the Terrence Howard interview. I was too busy watching the Nuri Muhammad interview with a mathematical mind. When Terrence Howard comes on High Level Conversations, right, I'll be interested in that. But it's not enough, and this is the thing, it's not enough to get the information out. The information and the platforms we use matter as well. So when you come on a Black platform such as High Level Conversations, then I think it's a worthy conversation. But the intention behind it has to matter, right? Because you're setting an example. So don't go up there and say, well, I have something really important to say, so I'm going to go to a white platform. Say I have something really important to say, so I'm going to go to this Black platform. That, to me, is the best way to do things. And then after that, you can go to whoever you want. But I believe that is living by example, that's leadership, and that's a good influence. That Nuri Muhammad interview now, that one will change your life. Because that's actually practical information that you're going to be able to utilize instantaneously once you understand it. As I went through his book, I understood it instantly. And it became a concept that I could apply to unlock the rusty locks of my own mind to move forward. Media is too powerful for us to be giving away our power, and that's all we do is every single day we give away our power. Every single day we give away our power. It's a shame, it's a shame, it's a shame, and people don't really understand it because culture doesn't have a vehicle. My brother Keenan talks about that. Like, we have a culture, but we don't have a vehicle. Our vehicle for culture is other people's platform, right? That's our problem. Our vehicle for culture is other people's platform. So, when the rest of them be doing all that stuff, man, they be afraid to come over and empower the platform. And we be talking about so much, it be so much our so-called scholars, right? I seen Eric Jamal Dyson, I don't know his name exactly, no disrespect to the brother, but he was just putting up such a hard argument for Drake. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be one of our many scholars, and you're arguing whether it must be something going on with the phone. I don't know what's going on with the phone. People talking about the voice change. He was putting up such a hard argument about whether Kendrick was attacking Drake's race, and this is about Black and Jewish relations, and like, You see why these people get they platforms. You see why these people get advertisements. You see why these people get sponsors. Come on, man. It's annoying. It's disrespectful. These same people, then they go look at other platforms and they snuff at them, right? I be seeing these OGs, man. These OGs don't be worth $1 because they don't be wanting to help out none of the young ones. Don't want to pass no torches. These niggas be trying to run the race and they ain't even the swiftest. Y'all can at least get in the game and coach. For everything that you have that you want to talk about, where somebody does something wrong, then you have to also teach them how to do it the right way. I don't like when the OGs be out there talking all this shit. I seen one talking about financial influencers. Well, show them. Show me somebody that you got under your wing and where you help them put infrastructure behind. Because you know that the reason that people end up doing things the wrong way because nobody taught them the right way. Right? And kudos to them for getting out there and hustling and figuring things out. Now they can figure out how to do it even better. So don't get out there and then try to attack a culture that's being built out, because if you're not attacking the entertainment culture, don't attack people trying to influence education and the right things. Like that's such a small percentage of where we actually spend any capital towards in the first place. That's not changing the black paradigm. The money that people are trying to spend towards educating themselves, not in the negative facet, in the positive one. So when I see people attack that space, man, they just suckers. And these OGs be acting like bitches. You feel me? And they don't be wanting to see nobody shine, and they don't be wanting to give no light to nothing. You feel me? They be bragging about how they've been doing it for years and they got all this money, but man, y'all only give money to charity, so nobody really care about what you've been doing unless you are operating in cooperation, in tandem, in collaboration, coaching, all of those different things. If that's not you, move out the way. Because what's gonna make it is you're gonna make the young ones, you feel me, want to eat food off your plate. And when they attack you, and now it becomes this misalignment where there should be harmony. Y'all about to love where we take this to. But you know, I'm a student of the game, man. I always wanted to be taught by the OGs and get mentored by the OGs, but none of them be willing to. They be afraid of empowering. I ain't gonna lie, they be afraid of empowering because they be afraid that you gonna take things farther than they have and they ain't gonna be able to control you. So, yeah, man, I barely get people that be ready to empower. They be so quick to go on platforms and say what you're doing wrong versus consulting so that you can do it the right way and you can scale things and structure things the right way so you can be a, credible leader and good influence. That's what matters. I'm not about to go out there and talk crazy about no youngster or none of that unless I'm willing to show them the right way and reach out to them the right way. It ain't no competition because we ain't got nothing. So it's like, what we in competition for? The earth is very large. The world is very large. 196,940,000 square miles. You feel me? 196,940,000 square miles. There's plenty of space for us. The problem is we see where somebody else standing and we want to stand right there where they standing. Bro, pick another space. It's okay, pick another space. It's plenty of room. You feel me? So anyway, the High Level Club, man, it's gonna be our own world. It's gonna be our own community. You feel me? That's what we achieve. That's what we lead. That's what we create. So that's where I want y'all to tap in with us at, because, that's we about to have all these different tribes around the world. It's not just gonna be the U.S., but tribes of high-level achievers, leaders, and creators. If that's you, right, then join in, tap in. But our tribe is gonna be one of the biggest in the world. It's gonna be beautiful. So anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. I don't want to spend too much time on this live. It's been 40 minutes already. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed day. Make sure y'all tap into High Level. Make sure you apply. I told my peoples I don't want everybody in High Level, right? So we're coming up with a way to audit who gets in. And if you get in and if you're not a fit, then, you know, some people we will be releasing and making sure that, you know, this space is curated with the right energy and the right people. You feel me? If you don't have the right energy and you're not there to reach your highest level, we don't really need you in the high level club at all.